I'm Ryan Besson.
I'm Chris Saunders.
We are Pop Culturists. This is E3PopC, the popculturist.com's E3 coverage. You weren't here for the discussion of EA and Bethesda. Quick rundown, Josh.
Videos,
what did you have to say?
EA was so bad. Nothing.
But not like that suit jacket. That shit's tailored. That looks...
Yeah, I know. This, it's Armani.
Oh, wow.
I imported it from Italy.
Oh, nice.
By Italy, I mean Ryan's cupboard.
Yes. It smells like spaghetti in there.
EA was EA. You know, someone's got to go first, and it just didn't work out very well. Well, nothing interested me, really. Bethesda, on the other hand, with the old Skyrim remaster, pumped. Pumped. I went out and bought a Skyrim pop figure today.
Just out of pure excitement?
Yeah, no, but the guy at EB Games was like, "You waiting for Skyrim?" Yeah.
Can pre-order it?
And he's like, "Here's the pre-order," and I was like, "No, $280 for
get out."
Because the statue with the Skyrim collector's pre-order isn't a figure or anything. It's like a shrine that's in the game, which looks cool, but I'm not paying $280 for that.
There's very limited editions that I paid $280 for.
No. Uncharted being one of them, but this is nearly $300.
Was that $280?
No, I mean Uncharted was $200.
Oh yeah. See, 200 is the good number. That's the top.
That's the max.
Yeah.
It's got to be really.
Because it's in Australia, that's the cost of the game plus it's double the cost of the game, which makes sense. Well, let's kick things off with day two. Day two, we saw Microsoft, Ubisoft, and PlayStation.
Yeah.
But let's go in order.
By day, you mean fast night?
Oh man, for us, Microsoft kicked off at 2:30 in the morning. I woke up from an hour and a half sleep because for some reason I couldn't sleep. Now,
excited.
This is going to be great. Got up, Dylan on the couch. Insert photo here, Dylan, because I took a photo. Posted it on Twitter.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that.
All right, so Microsoft kicked things off with a pretty big opening. They talked about the Microsoft. They talked about the Xbox One S.
Whoa!
And we're not talking.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, well, rumor has it they've been talking about making a slimmer console.
They always do, though.
Yeah. 3 or 4 years after the release, they tend to bring a slimmer, and identically to the information that was leaked and we posted on popculture.com. The 6S, like the iPhone, the Xbox One S is 40% smaller. The battery pack is inside it. It has now... Yeah.
What do you mean battery pack is inside?
So previously with Xbox, you have the console, the cord, and in the cord is the battery pack.
That's right. Yeah, okay, I get you. Yeah.
So now they've finally put that inside.
So they make the console 40% smaller and fit the battery pack.
Yeah, what the hell was in that one?
What was in the
I don't know. It's the same joke I make every week, and it's fucking VCR. There's great tape usage in there. It will also see a 2 terabyte hard drive. Now, that's not in every console. There is a tiered model, as in one with 500 gig, one with 500 gig, one with 1 terabyte, one with 2 terabytes.
Correct.
All ranging in price. It will also have high dynamic range, which will allow it to get into 4K Blu-ray and Blu-ray content, as well as Ultra HD films.
Netflix.
Yeah, so you get the 4K Netflix. In terms of 4K resolution output, as in for games and upscaling, no mention.
Nah.
They just mentioned that they can process for Ultra HD films. Phil Spencer came on, did a bunch of talking, talked about choice. That was his big thing, is this is allowing for choice. Yeah.
Choices in where you play the game, because it's all cross-play.
That's true. And that was the first game that came out was Gears 4, and they talked about this thing called Play Anywhere, which is essentially...
They talked about it
extensively. So it's essentially, once again, similar to rumors, they were looking at changing the ecosystem between between the Xbox and PC. So now anything that is an Xbox exclusive will also be playable on the PC. So Gears 4, which was announced, they talked about a bunch of co-op stuff. Does
that decision really make any sense?
Yes.
I don't know, because like if you've got a high-end PC, there is literally no reason for you to buy an Xbox. Like you might have lost a bit of the market. People that are like, oh, I really want Gears 4, I need to buy an Xbox. Now they're like, well, I don't have to anymore, so I'm not going to. You know what I'm saying?
It's a risky
business. Interesting kind of way to go about it.
It's a risky business venture simply because they know that the Xbox is floundering, and people, unless it's a Microsoft first party, no one's going to want to make exclusives because they have half the market of the PlayStation.
Less than.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, less than half the market now, which. You know, I'm not saying that as bragging rights, even though I am wearing my bias on my chest. Like they had to make it. There had to be a way to get those in people's hands to sweeten that deal.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because they want to build that ecosystem.
Yeah.
But
it was basically you buy Gears of War and you get it on everything.
Yeah,
right?
It's cross buy like you were with the PS and the Vita.
And the what?
The PS4 and the Vita.
The what?
Yeah, we'll get there. So Gears of War came out with the release date of October 11 this year. Laura Bailey came out, did some talking, did some gameplay. Mm-hmm. That was nice. They showed a lot of sort of weather effects, some weird catapult thing.
The weather effects are good. It's a good looking game. I'll never get to play it. You might. Yeah,
well, with Dylan's Xbox, I might give it a go. Gears was never a franchise that really took me in. It never really interested me. But one that really, really got Dylan up and out of the couch because he was inside the couch for some reason.
He was still asleep.
Yeah, and he's heard this music. And he's like, what? And then Killer Instinct. And he's like, ah! And he was really pumped.
Did he get his morning glory?
Oh, they totally did. I think it was delayed up until that very moment.
Dylan's nodding. For those of you at home.
So they showed off Killer Instinct. They showed that keeping with the Gears of War under year 3, they'll be bringing out General Ram as a character.
Is it a ram?
No, it's a big alien-looking dude.
That's disappointing.
Yep. But moving on, because I know nothing about Killer Instinct, is Forza Horizon 3.
Something else I know nothing about.
Yeah, so essentially, it's a racing game. It's kind of along the veins of.
Did they say Forza or Forza?
Forza.
Remember last year it was Forza.
It is Forza, but I read it as Forza because that's how it's spelled. It does look amazing.
Dylan's notes: Forza Horizon 3, September 27th this year.
That's the release date.
First dot point. Wicked game.
It looks phenomenal.
It does look
because Forza is essentially their Gran Turismo for PlayStation. So a lot of goes into it. Now this one is based in Australia.
We get some love.
Yeah, they show footage of you hauling ass around the Yarra Valley.
Smashing through all the wine.
As I mentioned on Twitter, it's all fun and games to hit a wombat. Then your car is effed.
If you think you'd kill the wombat, you wouldn't. You'd stop. You would actually stop.
You know, in movies when they hit something and the car grows around it, that's what happens when you hit a wombat.
It just wraps around the wombat's ass because it's the plating that has.
It's insane.
And on top of the Yarra Valley, the Great Ocean Road as well.
Yes, and they did show a lot of 4-player campaign co-op in terms of drop in, drop out sort of, and then they didn't show it to be an open world per se. But you can drop in and then start a race. Rather than being in a race, then they join the race. As you're driving, hey, want a race?
On the Great Ocean Road is interesting because, have you driven it at all?
Yeah, it's windy.
Well, driving it at, I think it's 40 kilometres an hour recommended. That's hard. That's really hard.
It'd be a lot of drifting. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. They also showed a lot of, what they referred to as instant day weather traffic sync. Apparently, says Dylan Notes. They talked a lot about weather effects and sort of how it will change throughout the time.
They should at this stage of gaming.
Yeah.
It's expected.
Moving on, we got Recore, which took my interest last year.
I just love Dylan's notes.
Double jump midair. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, so they jumped through the laser beam and then lands. It was nice. Look, this game did capture my attention last year. However, this year it did absolutely nothing for me.
Because it's not coming to PlayStation.
Well, not even that. It's just that none of it interests me. Because luckily now with Dylan in the house, we have the Xbox. So we can play Xbox games. So I went into this sort of open-minded. I wanted a good conference.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let's see what games they've got. Because, we've got an Xbox. We can get our hands on them. We can give this a good, solid go. And Recore just didn't do it. Final Fantasy 15, which is not an Xbox exclusive. They showed we already know the
I find
September 30.
myself losing interest in it the more I see it. Because I'm a big Final Fantasy fan.
Wow.
And the first, the original demo and the first kind of trailers we got, I was like, like, fuck yes, they're going back to the roots of Final Fantasy. But now the more I see of it, I don't know, I just find it less appealing. I don't know why. It's a shame though.
Yeah,
I was excited.
not for me. Not even in the slightest. Then we moved on to Division Underground, which is the next. That's what we're looking for. Expansion DLC for Division, which comes June 28, with it coming to PlayStation 2 weeks later.
Yes. It's a very survival-focused expansion.
Yeah, it caught my interest. It made me consider going back.
I'm never going.
You're never going back? Decision made?
I'm going to trade it in.
Might be a good idea, actually. I might be able to use that on something else.
So I need to talk about tradings, actually. I found out something interesting today. We'll talk about that.
Oh, okay, cool. Then they started talking about Xbox Live and sort of what it's been doing. They mentioned, with backwards compatibility, that's allowing you to play, open your choice of games. With cross-network, they're allowing you to play the game on what console you choose. They've now implemented background music, so you can choose what music you listen to.
Spotify.
And they also said you can pick your preferred language no matter what region you are in. That's cool. If you're someone that moves around a lot, you can pick and choose what language you use. So, say if I want the Australian one and I go to US, I'm like, I don't get it. So I change it to Australian. And in Cortana, who's the no voice, he's like, how you going? I'm like, all right, I'm in.
How you going? I'm Cortana.
I'm Cortana. What's up, Cortana? They also talked about Arena, which is essentially their communities. Once you're talking about PlayStation, it's where you can sort of get a bunch of like-minded people. You're all big fans of, Gears of War.
That's the club's community.
Clubs, sorry.
The Arena is like a multiplayer team fight.
That's right. Yes, sorry. Yes,
like
I thought it was the other way around.
There'll be like an arena for, I don't know, Gears of War co-op. And you can go in and find people and play with them.
Yeah, it was really cool because you could put down the prerequisites. Like, I need someone to help me with this mission. I need someone of this level. I need someone of this. And someone would be like, hey, man, that's me. I'll help you out.
One more for Division party.
Yep, I need a healer. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Really, really cool idea. Then we had Minecraft, which is without a doubt the lowest point of this conference.
You think we've seen enough Minecraft at this point?
For me, it's people that presented it.
Oh, okay.
As in... Everything else, while I was sitting there watching it, although in hindsight, an example, Final Fantasy doesn't really hold my attention, I was intrigued because I've not seen a lot of that game. So I'm watching it I'm like, well, this could be interesting. I want to see what's happening, what's going on.
Yeah.
And the second Minecraft come out, and they've come out and like, hi, we are the people from Minecraft. Want to play a game? Yeah, I do. And it was painfully scripted. It was unbearable to watch.
Didn't flow.
It flowed because it was written as such.
Not naturally.
But it was garbage. And at the end, they're like, let's get out of here. I'm like, yeah, please do.
Just get off the stage.
I understand now that Microsoft own Mojang, it makes sense for them to talk about it.
Yeah. What was Realms, though? I think I missed this.
Realms is just it's a skin. It's a skin pack. They also announced that with Minecraft, you can now play it on a bunch of different... So you can cross-play.
Minecraft Play School on Happy Drugs. It's one of Dylan's notes.
So they mentioned you can. So if you're playing on on your Xbox, on your PC, on iOS or the Android, you can now play with anybody in that. And they were like, you can play it on all platforms, but they didn't mention PlayStation. So technically, it's not all four. All their platforms.
Well, they own it now.
They do. They own Mojang, so they can pick and choose where it goes. But let's see what else. The control pad design lab.
That was cool.
That is an amazing idea.
That is something Sony needs to do.
That is a damn right amazing idea. It made me want to buy an Xbox controller. I haven't gone to it yet, but I'm thinking when we're done here, I might pull up the site and craft my own controller.
I saw on Facebook because you can get it's $80 American and another $9 for engraving.
Yeah.
And someone on Facebook tried to get engraved anal fisting.
It's like, I'm sorry.
You can't.
No.
No, they must have a filter. That's unfortunate. But it's cool.
It's so cool.
You get to make your own controller, color scheme it out.
And it's not as simple as, I want the controller to be blue, the buttons to be this.
But you can
as in, like,
everything.
It's in depth. The front, the back, the triggers, the top bar, the buttons, the D-pad. Yeah. Everything about it can be completely from scratch. So you could have one stick being blue, one being green, on a pink front with yellow buttons, purple little buttons, the triggers are brown, and the bottom is red.
Emojis on your buttons.
Oh, you can't put put a GIF or anything. Like, you can't give a JPEG and they put the JPEG on it. Nothing of that, but you can do whatever you want with colours.
I'd do it for PlayStation. Because I got rubber covers for module, and it looks nice, like a bit of colour, you know.
Yeah,
I'd buy 2 instantly.
I 100% thought about it.
Yeah. Well done, Xbox.
And then the next thing talked about Inside, which comes out on June 29, which is from the makers of Limbo, a game I absolutely loved.
I haven't played it yet.
Really? Yeah. Well, it's free if you have an Xbox, but you don't. Yeah, really, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. However, I don't know about Inside. I'll have to take it on the shoot. Now this, next on the list, blew me the hell away.
Blew you?
The Happy Few.
Blow you away?
Yeah.
Really?
It looks twisted. It looks confusing. As I said on Twitter, it is Nightmare Fuel the game.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
I didn't think much of it.
I am so in. It's a very similar art style to like Bioshock-ish, but it's nicely twisted, and it sort of starts, everyone's like on these happy pills. I think they called it Joy. And then you decide to like, no, I want to take my joys. Let's see what happens. And obviously, as you're sort of coming down, you go into a room. They're like, yeah, it's a birthday. You'll miss it. There's a piñata. Hit the piñata. And the guy's like, all right, dunk, and becomes a dead rat. And they're all eating it. Like, let's get the candy. They're all eating this dead rat. It's like, I fucking play this game. I was going to play this game. So it's a Kickstarter game. So I'm very curious about what they can do with it.
But that's not the only game they've got coming. Like they've got, apparently, according to them, thousands of indie games in development. Allegedly. I think that number's blown up a little bit.
A little bit. But they did sort of list a few that are coming out. So we've got the Culling, Deliver Us the Moon. They mentioned that
Ark.
Stardew Valley will be coming across. It's an incredibly popular Steam game. So I think that's a great idea to get that to consoles. They also talked about the Witcher card game, Gwent. So it's the Witcher 3 card game, the game.
It was a pretty good game.
It did. I spent a good couple hours playing Gwent. Me too. Like I've not really got that far in the Witcher story. I spent so much time playing Gwent. They mentioned that they've made a lot of tweaks and sort of visually and mechanically to make it more of a coherent single game.
Like what Hearthstone would be with like some animations and all that kind of stuff.
Just kind of, I think it's a tough market to break into, but with the success of Witcher 3, it makes perfect sense for them to go down that line.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I might try it if it's $20.
Yeah. Now this one, the next game, which is Tekken 7, which they announced will be coming out in early 2017, confused the shit out of me.
Why?
Because it was Akuma and Hayachi from Tekken and from Street Fighter, and I'm like, oh my god,
is it another
are we getting
Tekken?
Well, because the idea was they're going to create Street Fighter X Tekken, which is Tekken and Street Fighter, but in the Street Fighter art style.
Okay.
Then they were going to have Tekken X Street Fighter, which is all the characters in the Tekken style.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, yes, that's the one I want, because with Tekken you've got the 3D worlds you can spin, and rather than just playing on the 2D plane. I saw that and I'm like, and then it's like Tekken 7. I was like, man, but I get it, but man.
But you get free Tekken Tag Tournament too.
Which is true. And it does make perfect sense, because I think Capcom have learnt... Is it Capcom? No, Capcom do Street Fighter. So I think Capcom learnt from
Namco?
Yeah, Namco do Tekken. So Capcom learnt from their exclusive deal with PlayStation that it's not going to work. You need to be across platforms. Mm-hmm. So Tekken has sort of stepped away from their key home being PlayStation and gone over to Xbox. It's fine. Next up is Dead Rising 4, which was Christmas in a mall, but with more dead people.
Yeah.
No mention about that being an exclusive.
Oh, they love their exclusives.
No, but Dead Rising has always been an Xbox, Microsoft exclusive.
Maybe it's just meant to be like a given now.
No, I wouldn't think so, because with this conference, they were so persistent that everything is like Xbox and a Windows 10 exclusive.
I think I'm at Zombie Burnout.
Yeah, I'm over it.
So nothing really interests me anymore.
Scalebound comes out in 2017.
It has dragons and a giant scorpion.
Says Dylan. I know.
Sea of Thieves. Multiplayer pirate game.
From Rare.
Yeah. I don't know what I think about it.
I'm interested. I'm
totally
interested.
I don't feel like we got enough info to
they sort of showed it as a game, where there's three sets of people, or crews as they refer to them, and you're all working together on a ship, and like they've got a ship, you have a ship, and you all come to an island, and it's all about working together, and someone hoisting the sails, someone rocking the cannons. Like if you play with friends, I think it would be amazing. But if you're playing by yourself, it's probably going to be garbage.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But it's, yeah.
Another zombie game.
State of Decay 2.
Yeah.
Looked actually pretty good.
Zombies and a car.
I never played. Thank you, Dylan. I never played a lot of State of Decay 1. Actually, I don't think I played any of it that I can think of.
No, I never did.
But it is well loved. It makes sense. People got really excited to hear that game's coming back.
Cool. Good.
Speaking of coming back, the final game to close it out was Halo Wars 2, with the first one coming out 7 years ago, and this has the release date of February 31st, 2017.
Wait, February 31st doesn't exist.
We discussed that during the writing down.
Oh, yeah, because he wrote down, it's like, Feb 31st. I'm like, that can't be right. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's right. I'm like, that doesn't exist.
It can't be right.
It's February 21st. Yeah, they're bringing it in just for Halo Wars.
For Halo, okay.
Thanks, Dylan, for not adjusting your notes. I appreciate it, because now I'm like a dickhole. Once again, Halo is not my franchise.
No.
But it looks interesting. I'm totally, I'm like, all right, I can see how people like this.
Well, the Halo collection is why I originally bought an Xbox One before I bought a PS4. Because I thought, I'm going to start fresh on a new console and, learn all these franchises I don't know. And then I sold the Xbox One before Halo collection came out. And got a PS4 with the money instead.
So this is when they head into the last sort of kicker of the conference.
Yeah.
They mentioned that 15 years ago this year, the first Xbox launched. They talked about how it was, invention, connection, fun, freedom, choice, gaming for everyone, play your way.
It wasn't really anything.
Then they announced the Project Scorpio.
Whoa.
They talked about all its powerful. They talked about these extra, there's 6 teraflops of GPU. I don't know what a teraflop is. It's a real word, but I'm like, damn,
I want a giant flaccid penis.
I'm like, damn, I want 6 of them. He's like, we have 6 of them. I'm like, that's a fucking lot of teraflops.
I don't know what one is, but it must be better.
They had a lot of studio heads sort of talk about it. That's about its power, and they mentioned
most powerful console ever built is the selling point.
Yeah, no, and compared to the leak stats of the PS 4.5, yes, it is.
But could that have been Sony's thing all along?
No,
because Sony have gotten a lot of flack the last month.
We'll talk about Sony and what they've done.
This is going into the Xbox.
Okay,
because with Sony saying the Neo's not going to be there, if Xbox had their conference planned already and they're like, well, we've already planned for this to be there, so we have to now.
Yeah.
So they've done it. Could it have been so Sony can kind of suss out what they're doing on the 0.5 generation consoles? Like a bait and switch kind of a thing?
I don't want to talk about what Sony were thinking until we get to Sony. Yeah. But in terms of Microsoft, I think for them, knowing that they were coming first, this was them going, boom, beat that. That's what they've done. It's like they dropped the Scorpio, they dropped the hardware stats. Like, this is what we can do. Do it, beat it, go ahead. But
they may have to eat their words.
They may have to, because they mentioned that it comes out in holiday of 2017, which is a bit of a while away.
Yeah,
but that does give Sony a lot of time to work on whatever they're doing. But they didn't really go into super specific hardware.
No.
They mentioned there's this much teraflops, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So they could fluctuate. Because what is impressive now will be very out of date by holiday 2017. That's a year and a half away.
Yeah. But I don't know what a teraflop is to start with, so I don't know.
But that's what wrapped out the conference. The announcement of Project Scorpio. What were your thoughts of the conference overall?
It was a conference. Like, it's how you'd expect a conference to be. People out talking, announcements on hardware and software and all this kind of stuff. It was a solid conference. I wouldn't call it a fun thing to watch, but there was a lot of information. What about you?
I thought it was brilliant.
I just thought it was good.
As someone that's not, I'll talk about it every day. I am not a big fan of Microsoft. I am a PlayStation fanboy proudly. But I came into this to look, I'll see what they have to offer, and they blew me away. This is the perfect example of how, apart from Minecraft, this is a perfect example of how to run a conference when your aim is to talk about hardware and software.
Yeah, no,
because they kicked it off with the S, boom, there it is. We're not going to talk about too much about it. There it is. You know it exists. It comes out in August. Boom, there you go. Then they were just games. Apart from those couple of chats, there was no awkward discussions between people on chairs. There wasn't I believe they did the Pele, or was that EA that did that last year? They had a discussion, a chat with a soccer guy, and it was painful and long and boring. Yeah. But there was none of that. Everyone that came out had an intent. They talked about it, and they came through properly, and then they closed it with a kicker.
It was definitely their best conference in years.
Yeah. Last year I remember being sort of average, but this was phenomenal. It was much better than I expected.
I wouldn't say phenomenal.
Is it?
It was good.
Once again, for someone that came in like expecting nothing, or was like, I'll watch it, blew me away. Absolutely blew me away.
Cool.
But that's enough for Microsoft. Let's end this up. We're tons of 2 other conferences to talk about. But if you want to
say 12 conferences to talk about.
A ton of conferences to talk about. But if you want to read more about the announcement, rather than our just quick run through here, head over to thepopculturist.com. Read all the lab reports we've discussed. Go to, while you're here at YouTube, take a look at our other videos. YouTube.com/popculturists. It's pretty good.
Especially our intro videos.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, go to facebook.com/popculturist, where we will announce everything that happens. Now, it is, there's still a couple of days left of E3 to go. Might not be any more conferences, but doesn't mean nothing will be talked about. So more information will come out as it happens, and we will post it on the site. So, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
See you around.
Now we do the sit back like the news.